If you had $1 billion, what would you do with it to change the lives of women and girls?
You're all here because you have done incredible work on behalf of girls. And I think we need to celebrate how far we've come.
We are both the founders and directors of the Arts Effect NYC, which is a feminist arts and advocacy program that empowers girls ages 11 to 18.
So for the past 8 years, we've been lucky to travel the country and the world using theater to support girls in sharing their voices and telling their stories. Our goal is to offer girls a space to come together and be listened to, not just by us and their peers, but by their communities.
Role-playing solutions for girl-on-girl aggressive behavior with New York City third graders, or we are standing with sex trafficking survivors as they share their truths for the first time. We see every day that girls of all ages and situations thrive when they have the chance to share their truths and they are genuinely heard.
I don't want Dad and Sarah to hear you saying all this to me. I already told you, it was a dare. Didn't anyone do dares when you were a kid? I'm gay. No, I'm not.
I know what he wants to do, you know? He's been pushing it for a while. Like, really, a lot. Every time we're together, he's like, yo, I'm waiting and it's time, so come on, because you know you can't keep me waiting. And I'm just like, I know.
Dion moved in when I was 10 years old, but then my mom put him in charge of picking me up from school, and that's when he started doing stuff to me. After about a year, it was close to my 12th birthday, I told my mom and she smacked me in my face. She said, how dare you say something like that about your daddy?
These things happen and they need to be discussed.
A lot of the time schools will say, you know, sorry, I can't really help you because that didn't happen like on school grounds. But when you give girls the platform to talk about it, girls in the audience will go, wait, me too, that happened to me. And then that opens up a conversation.
How can we start communicating with our other girls, other boys, having them understand what respect for girls is? Honestly, that needs to be taught from a really young age. So it's not coming from administrators or other teachers saying, we're going to have an assembly on bullying, right? And this is what you need to do. It's coming from them saying, yo, this is a problem that we're not okay with anymore. We want to switch this dynamic.
Well, obviously, this needs to be happening. We just need to create the forum for it.
Because even though I was raised by parents who said, don't ask permission, do you, define yourself, and all those things, and of course it trickled down in some way, there were still these societal forces and conditioning that made me feel like, and I went to all-girls school, and I still felt like I had to be that nice Southern Baptist girl and ask for permission.
Where they had to go home and do a selfless love act with a person in their family who they don't show enough love to, and almost all the 12-year-old boys picked mothers, sisters, grandmothers, aunts.
I can't be the only adult feminist that my students know, right? They have to know that this is an actual movement that's intergenerational. They need to know that it's embodied by a whole range of fields, and they also need to know that it's men doing this work too.
In the leadership development, the advocacy, the education, and the partnership, once you create those conditions for these young people to really show their voice and show their power and what they can do, you actually get better policy and strategies than if you do it alone.
So the way that we elect our officials, or the way that we educate our elected officials, is through theater, is through art.
Can we co-create a conversation about what future? What does the future look like?
Media is a huge one, gigantic. It invades our minds and our feelings. It's the air we breathe.
By the time these young women are going off to their first job, it is way too late for them to learn how to ask for a raise.
Movement by definition means people are on different pages, but that sometimes we know this, but yet we forget.
Not only for the good of the younger generation, but just for themselves. Took the time to actually go back to that first moment where they might have felt voiceless, relived it, tried to think in your mind like what actually caused that, like what was that environment that actually made you feel that, so that when that person who does come to you, who is feeling voiceless in that moment, like you'll be such a great source and wealth of information for them, like from such a compassionate place that I think it would be amazing.
Your humanity is my humanity. It all intersects, and we need to find a way to explode that open.
I think it's important to acknowledge the privilege one has to have a good relationship with their mother, because I don't think everyone has that. Personally, my mom's from Japan, so she can't really speak English, and in the Japanese language, I haven't been able to find like a word for feminism. So like, how do we find feminist language in other languages to create a more worldly, feminine view?
My big next step, and the next step of the team that did put this together, is going to be to really thoughtfully reflect on all that's happened here and figure out how we can best move it forward.